my makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back. It has been another week and we have a week's worth of new makeup releases, and it is Black Friday. It's a whole thing, so there's been a lot of sales going on, so it's a little bit more of a quiet week. Hush, lie down, take a blanket, grab some soup or coffee or whatever, because it is a more mellow sort of a week in terms of what's been coming out. With me, I have the beautiful, gorgeous, transcendent, glowing Keisha. She's fabulous. And she is here to offer the American perspective on things. So, hooray. We're going to get straight on into just some little general announcements. And the first one gives me a hell of a lot of joy. This is the beautiful Elena, and she is one of the models, that's right, for Kimchi Chic Beauty, a really good foundation, and she's wearing shade 110. Now, you know the drill. She actually has a code with Kimchi Chic, so if you are interested in getting some of their stuff, you can get that foundation along with some other things. Isn't she annoyingly gorgeous? Very upsetting.
Look radiant.
I know.
Radiant. And that's like, and Kimchi, is that not like a full coverage foundation? Like, I don't know. I'm really like, I'm amazing.
I know.
She looks fantastic.
She's a brilliant model for that, though. It makes an awful lot of sense. And then, just before I sat down to film, P. Louise sent this email. Now, myself and Daniela had actually been talking about P. Louise and their palette last week, and she kind of said, hey, the Worldie didn't have a great formula, and I reckon they're kind of slowly trying to phase that out. The Daniela of Destiny was correct, because P. Louise sent around this email basically saying, time to say goodbye, gone but never forgotten, limited numbers left. And they basically said that after Black Friday, they are not restocking a couple of different things. So it includes the metallic bases, crisp finish cosmetic paints, Worldie suitcase, Worldie palette, Worldie passport brush set, Worldie boarding pass lip kits, the Secret Sinner palette, the Secret Sinner collection, the Hologlass, and the Read All About It palette. But they said that there's going to be more stuff that they're also just not going to restock. So it does look like they've gotten new formulas. So good, because Worldie was shite. Don't even bother getting it.
But people loved that palette.
Tia loved that palette, and I love you, Tia.
I think Annette loved that palette. Really?
No, I didn't. I did not like it. It was weird, it was patchy, and it didn't blend out. And the packaging was annoying and bulky.
Huge. It was huge.
Yeah.
Huge tracts of land. It was huge.
It really was. I had to build a new room just to put that one into. That was upsetting. Anyways, you know the drill. I've loads of people to thank, because even though it was a quiet week in terms of the announcements, you guys were still tagging away, doing the Lord's work, I believe is what they call it. So a big thank you to Brianna, Ali, Gillian, Chrissy, Sonia, Tina, Shanna, Shahina, Claire, Gina, Beth, Franca, Lois, Tia, JW, Sue, Inez, Cecily, Anna, Brogan, Kylie, Lisa, Jade S, Kat, Paula, Missy, Emily, Jordan, Manuela T, Missa, and Alexis. I'm getting very good at saying names in a very fast sequence. Yay. And a big thank you to my Patreons, of which Keisha is one, and she's rather lovely and glorious. So, hooray. We don't have any birthdays coming up this week, so maybe all of you should start procreating so we can put a birthday in for this week for next year. So wait for another 3 months and then procreate so I can have a birthday to put into this. So, although maybe don't, because the planet is dying and we don't need more people. I don't know, it's a lot of conflicting opinions on this. Anyways, there was a theme, but I'll be honest, I'm up to my eyeballs in work because I started a new job and I'm engaged. So I don't have to make an effort anymore with my life on anything ever. But the theme this week is Yas Queen, mostly because I wanted to say that, and as a Caucasian, I really shouldn't say that, but there you go. Anyways, some of you guys also did some looks, so peruse. But we do have lots of things to talk about in varying levels of detail. And the first thing that we're talking about is from Lethal Cosmetics. So Lethal Cosmetics are obviously a German brand, And they kind of did a whole like sneak peek of this, and there was a YouTube video announcing this. And this is coming out on November 26th. So as you're watching this, it's already out. Basically, it's a whole palette of multi-chromes. Now you can get each of these as singles for €17 each, or you can get the whole bundle for the low price of €150. And I just can't. Like that, I like, don't get me wrong, it's multi-chromes and I 5,000%, but I'm just like, I just, oh.
Yeah. I think also with palettes, like the thing is you don't get to pick the colors. So you get some palette, you paid €150 for it, and then you don't like 3 or 4 of them, or they dupe for other multi-chromes that you bought for less from indie brands, from other indie brands, like you're stuck with it. So not a fan.
It also feels like they've come very late to the multi-chrome game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the main, Lethal I've always thought of as a bit closer to mainstream. I don't know who owns them or anything like that. So maybe, I mean, but you're not, I feel like when you're paying these big dollars, you're paying for the prestige of being able to say you paid a lot of money for something like Danessa Myricks or Natasha Denona. So I just don't think of Lethal as something that I'm going to walk around. It's not like a Gucci bag.
Yeah.
Like to be like, ooh, I'm rolling. I spent €150 at Lethal Cosmetics.
But like, I mean, in perspective, the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, the big one, is €125. So I could get that, and I could get the mini Metropolis for €25, and I could bundle the two of them together for €150, which is the same price.
I personally would not do that. So I mean, some of it's also, I only shop at Natasha Denona on the Black Friday sale, which is, it should still be going on. And when they bundle stuff together and it's half off, basically. So it's what I always recommend. And I think she's overpriced.
Yeah.
Like,
but even if she is overpriced, I'm saying you could get 2 Natasha Denona palettes, which are really pricey, for the price of that one palette.
You could.
I wouldn't say I like Lethal. I've liked anything I've tried from them. I think they're very, very good. But this just feels like their last couple of releases, I'm going to say it, have been kind of missing the mark. They had that
the Berlin
1989 Berlin one that I was like, huh?
Yeah, weird color story.
It was ugly. I didn't like it. It didn't resonate with me. It reminded me a little bit of that Beauty Bay Dumbo palette in ways.
I bought that one. I like it, but I understand. Like, I like that because Dumbo was my favorite movie from being a little kid.
Yes, but that makes sense, and that also wasn't crazy expensive. So
no, it's like, I think I bought it, like, it was on sale. It was like $7.
Yeah, so that's fine.
I don't know. It's a pass for me.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna. I don't want to hate on Lethal, and again, with these European brands, they're often expensive to get to the US, so it's not always worth it to try them out.
I love that that's like, this is usually a reverse, because we're like, oh, American brands.
But we don't have to pay VAT tax though, so our prices are lower. Like, we end up in a situation where on Beauty Bay, half the time, it is materially cheaper as an American to buy European brands. That's why I always wait. I'm like, I won't buy it. Why would I buy from the site when I could buy it directly from Beauty Bay? Because they ship for free. It only takes a month to get to you, and they forget to ship a couple of things, and then they give you the runaround.
Beauty Bay
Times.
Extended customer service as always.
They've been a little better recently. I know,
but the bar was so low.
So low.
Like, they were basically taking your box and kicking it over your fence like that. They were like, hey, yeah. Like, that's what it felt like.
I should show you a picture. The box that finally came was like deformed, but it was also small. And I was like, where's my Age of Opulence palette? And they're like, oh, we just didn't ship it. And I'm like, did you want to tell me you were going to ship it? I'm like,
we were hoping you wouldn't notice.
I don't know. But of course, now it's like $6 cheaper because it's on sale. So now I have to wait till like the optimal moment. I bet I'll go 50% off tomorrow.
Yeah. So. Yeah. 84 years later, Katie will finally have the age populace palette.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, Lethal Cosmetics are a very good brand. I really like the quality of their stuff. So if you like this, the quality is probably going to be very good. I just can't justify putting that amount of money onto one palette unless it, like, I don't know, works absolute miracles and anti-ages me or something. But it seems that a lot of you guys had similar ideas, and I think it came with the price tag because only 38% of you loved it, which is unusual for Lethal. Then this next one, Too Faced. We sneak peeked this a very, very long time ago. They have had a chance to think about it, but they didn't think about it and still went, yeah, we're going to put this out. And they have done the classic thing of, here's our pop of pink, here's a little bit of a purpley shade. And then they kind of went, I don't know, I guess some neutrals. And then they went, no, but let's be different. Let's put a pastel blue in there that makes no effing sense with all of the rest of the shades that's in there. What?
You know what you could get? You could get the Huda Mercury on sale right now, app up for less than this.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe. Is that not giving you a little, there's something with the blue. It just looks like so many other things.
Oh, it does.
You're like, this reminds me of it. And you can look at a palette and you're like, this reminds me of, you're like, why would I buy it?
I just don't get it. Like,
packaging is adorable.
Oh yeah.
I love a butterfly.
But I will also say that that's what Too Faced do very well, is their packaging. That's what they get people on every year. It's like, look at the cute snowman. Look at, last year they had effing squirrels on things. I love squirrels. They had foxes on things. That's why I've bought a lot of their Christmas stuff in the past.
Yeah. They do the cute embossing. I don't know what, I don't, sometimes we forget that we are not, you know, if you're a makeup enthusiast, like how many friends you have who don't even understand that there's a place that you can buy makeup, like independently. You don't have to just go to Sephora or the drugstore or Ulta, right? Like how many, like, or Pennies or wherever.
This
like
is very true.
So I do think for them, except that they would have walked by the Huda display already and seen something that is more dynamic than this, but maybe they think the packaging is really cute. I don't know. Like, it's not Natasha Denona, right? Think of the last couple, you know, Retro is just like a palette everybody else. Melt is comes and goes. But I don't know, there's something where like you're missing a big mainstream brand that can like actually come up with something really creative and innovative.
I think what kind of confuses me a little bit about them is I don't know what aesthetic they're leaning towards, because one minute they're like better than sex, whips, chains, blah blah blah, and then another minute they're like teddy bears and butterflies, and I'm like, wait, who is this for?
I don't know.
They don't know either. Like, no. It's like every second collection they're like, here's for the kids, here's for the here's for somebody else. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's not for me. I can see, like, it's coming into spring, and it is a very, very pretty packaging. It'll probably do well for Christmas because it is coming out for Christmas.
But I'm sure, and they have the formula is, you know, I don't own any Too Faced, but I know a lot of other people, they're like, you know, formula's not too bad a lot of times. It's more that the palettes are just kind of basic, and this is obviously versus their standard fare. Seems, you know, it's got a lot of more going on. So who knows? We'll see. But it is cute packaging. I will give them. It's a sorority trick. We always had to say something good at the end. It'd be like, so then if you couldn't think of anything else to say about a young lady who was applying to be in your sorority, you'd be like, she's cute. We'll close on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like in academia, what we do is we start with something positive, and then we're like, but maybe you should work on this, and then, but to be fair, you are good at this. So it's like in the middle is sandwich, the things that we need to work on. Some do refer to it as a shit sandwich, which is what I think of when I look at Too Faced. So there you go. I'm going to you guys, and 20% of you love it. I will say this next one, it almost feels like this is related to Too Faced if you look at it. Like, it does just look the same. This is Colourpop
Exactly.
with their 5 millionth launch at this stage. I would love to know how many launches they've had. This is another one of a holiday launch. This is what, the 4th or 5th holiday launch? How many holidays are there? And
I don't know.
this is apparently for Ulta, because apparently Ulta don't have enough problems already. So they're coming out with these palettes, and it does feel like I have seen these exact palettes before. And
Yes.
I don't know where, but I've seen them.
Well, one of them we just saw on the previous.
Yes, but I feel like I've also seen that from Colourpop themselves.
Yeah, they all, I mean, there's only so many variations on like basic plus a pop of something. And if you're gonna go, I don't know if it's still available, but if you want a neutral plus a pop of blue, Lemon Shallow is the best palette, hands down. So I don't know, like with this kind of stuff, you have probably Sweet Talk, and you could just go find like a turquoise shadow from someplace else and be like, dude, boom, you're done.
Literally. And then there's just like a little pop of purple in there. It's an odd one, and again, not very Christmassy.
No.
Which, to be fair though, it's holiday time, not everyone does Christmas, you know, which
True.
fair. But again, you guys were not impressed. 11% of you love it. But they went and said, that's not enough, guys. Those palettes aren't enough. Here's some more regurgitations of stuff. And this is Smoke and Roses. And this is launching on Thanksgiving Day. I thought Thanksgiving was when you're meant to be thankful for things, not when you're meant to be like bringing more problems into the world. Now, I got a lot of messages saying this reminded them of the Stone Cold Fox, and I can kind of see that in the way that it's that big and it's cool tone, but this is purple leaning, and it reminds me a little bit of like the berry tones in the what was the Tatty Beauty palette. You know, those same sort of tones. Like, do you know what? If it had been 3 years ago and I saw this, I'd have been like, that's actually quite nice. You know, I'd have been like,
I think it's for work makeup. I mean, I also think sometimes like you just don't need these giant palettes, right? But they're trying to justify the price. But I do think, yes, if you caught me a couple of years back before I bought every berry toned palette in existence, except the retro, as we were talking before, I totally would have bought this.
Yeah.
Like, but I wouldn't, you know, but I already have this and I have better in so many varieties. I don't know. I think it's they got to make their quota.
Yeah. What is that quota?
I don't know, but there is somebody in there. There's a bean counter being like, we have not produced a palette in 3 days. We got it. Let's get on it, people.
Do you remember there was a time during COVID where they stopped? And there was like a couple of months where there was no Colourpop. Is this just them making up for the lost time? They don't have to do that. It's okay.
No, I know you always want to be like, are you okay? Are you okay? I think though they do, to be fair to their business, I don't think they produce the kind of quantities they used to, because you do see them discontinuing things. So I think they kind of produce a certain amount. If it sells, they produce more. But like you see them shoving product through, and a lot of things do go away. So sometimes it's to think they're trying to hit the same number, you know, and the same dollar amount of sales, and their chosen strategy is to like produce a lot of different SKUs to see who wants what. And like at least the quality is pretty good. I mean, I haven't had a really bad Colourpop palette ever in the ones that I bought. They've all been pretty good. Some of them are great.
Yeah.
And the packaging is always really nice, and that it feels expensive. So I do think there's a lot, but there are times when you kind of just want a moment to breathe and appreciate the one you bought last week.
Because we talked about 2 Colourpops last week, and we're talking about 2 Colourpops this week. And that's not all of the Colourpops. There were other Colourpop releases as well this week, but I didn't get tagged massively in those, so I didn't include them. Look, as a palette, I don't think this is bad. I like the color story, but it's been done by them and by everybody else. So like I said, if it had come out 3, 4, 5 years ago, I'd be like, oh yeah, nice. But now, not so much. I have 99 problems.
I would still buy it when it goes on sale. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I would get it on sale. Like if Colourpop was easily accessible to me, I'd be like, do you know what? That'll be perfect for going into work.
Right. even though I don't need it. I'm being realistic that if it goes to like 30% off, or they do like a 2-for-1, I'll probably buy it.
Yes. Have a rule for yourself that allows you to get a thing, because I do that to myself. That's why I'm not entirely bankrupt. I have no self-control, but I am quite rule governed. So if I make up a rule, I do tend to generally stick to it. So
I like it.
Don't question my weird thoughts. 21% of you loved it though. So yeah, I think we're all in the same kind of, I think, Colourpop fatigue. But do you know what? Colourpop were very much in favor about 2-3 years ago. And do you know who I think is taking that crown? Sheglam. Sheglam are coming in hot and furious on Colourpop's tail, and they're doing it a little bit cheaper. And we like Colourpop's packaging, but gotta say, Sheglam's new packaging on this. I was talking to Missy about this, and Missy said, "Does this not remind you a little bit of the packaging of Odin's Eye?" And I was like,
"It does.
Absolutely right." Absolutely, because even the way they've presented the pans looks so much like the way they've presented the pans in their newest collaboration with Annette's Makeup Corner and stuff. So I thought that was really quite interesting. I believe these are on sale for $6 each. $6.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's bananas. I mean,
disturbing.
Are you in any way surprised that I'm looking at the green? I love the look of that. That cool toned grey bluey one, I think that's cool. The purple one, the blue one, the bluey green one. Actually, do you know what? I like a lot of these. There's more.
I love this one that's the purple with the green, like a pink and purple green that's on in the middle on the right. I love that one.
Yes.
So
because I was looking at that one.
I don't like, however, the pans that are not what, can we just have square pans? All of them?
Oh my gosh, thank you, because that was what was throwing me off, is just have them all the same shape. Like if they wanted to do them all as like that little shape, okay, grand. I mean, I don't love it, but I could get on board.
Right.
But that throws me, and it kind of stresses me out. And I'm like, I have enough in my life to stress about without pan sizes being added to that.
Exactly.
But it is very much a first world problem of kind of being like, I don't like the pen shape and the But I will say, I think that this is absolutely gorgeous. I think they've done really bloody well. And I will say, Shein do deliver really quickly, because that's been one of the issues that have arisen with Colourpop over the last couple of months.
Oh my God.
5 years later. Now, I ordered some things from Shein about a week and a half ago, and it arrived like yesterday.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
I may have a Shein haul coming to my channel at some time quite soon. So
I'm excited.
Keep your eyeballs open. May or may not include that multi-chrome collection. It does. I have problems, but let us not discuss that. I think this is so smart, and like in time for Christmas, I think this is like a really nice little thing to like include. I keep talking about stocking fillers. I don't even have stockings like on like we don't really do Christmas in the same way, but like I think this is such a nice little idea.
Yeah, I mean, I love a stocking stuffer, and I'm Jewish, so what am I supposed to do? But I think it's nice. These are actually perfect Hanukkah gifts, because for Hanukkah you give people small gifts of limited value, and usually you get socks, and this is a massive upgrade from socks.
Yes, but do you know what? Probably around about the same price as socks.
Yeah, you could definitely get 8. You keep one for yourself and give 8 to somebody for Hanukkah.
There you go. I think this is really, really nice. I think the packaging as well is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, even if they were shit quality, I'd display them, because I'm effing freak who would do that.
For $6? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'd just like probably repurpose it and like put like a little frame on it, because they look so cute. I have problems.
I'm waiting. I'm like so excited for you to do your review, so then I can buy them. Because that's how I don't buy anything until you review it.
I do tend to be not harsh, but like, realistic. Like, you guys did seem to respond quite positively to this, which I approve of. And 53% of you said that you loved them. Fair fair. For that price, do you know what? I 5,000% agree. Do you know what? We're just continuing on with these like cool toned, kind of smoky vibes, which just seems to have been the thing for the last year. And Viseart are getting in on it. They have their Petit Pro Paris, because I decided, do you know what? Do the full French accent. Paris instead of Paris. I'm so fancy. The A12 palette, and that's where I butchered the French accent. I am very sorry. It's $24. Now, again, it's the mini palette, so it is tiny. Like it's tiny. I mean, it fits in your jeans pocket, tiny.
Right.
I like their quality. Looking at this, it wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, I would say the same. I mean, the thing with those tiny pans, it's okay because I have like hooded eyes and not very big eyes. But I do wonder, like, how, like, with these little itty bitty pans, like, what do you do if you're like a person who has like deep set eyes or big eyes? I mean, how do you blow that out? But like, you're gonna end up with all these other colors in. So I'm a little bit against the like itty bitty pans because it strikes me as being. The truth is, the product doesn't cost very much incrementally. So they could just give you 25% more product. So I don't know, but it's cute. I mean, she's cute. I guess I actually wonder, it's interesting to think, if you look at that though, and you're somebody who's more of a casual makeup consumer, what are you going to do with that? If you have a deeper skin tone, you'll be fine, but it doesn't give you a real transition shade. No. So if you're somebody who doesn't like have a bunch of other makeup or isn't like confident, you're not going to go in with you're going to go in with a purple and then try to blow that out or blend that out. And I don't know. So I do think it's a little bit like, I don't know what you'd swap out, but you almost don't need a black sometimes in something like this. You could have had a slightly darker transition shade so that it would be accessible to a wider range of people.
I agree, because particularly when you're looking at a small palette where the whole point is to like bring it around and not need other things with it, I wouldn't really know what to do with this. I'm quite adventurous with makeup,
right?
Despite the current appearance. But like I genuinely would just kind of sit there kind of, I don't really know what to do with this, and I would panic. But also because the pan sizes are so small, I'd be limited in the type of brushes I could use with it.
Yeah.
Because I have some steadfast favorite brushes that I really like using, like this Melt Transition brush, which is really nice and big and floofy. But if I put that into a pan that's very small, I could literally just do maybe this. And if I did any more than that, it would kick up into other pans if it's very small. So I just kind of wonder about the practicality of it.
Yeah, I almost think this would make more sense as one of their next size up. Don't they have one that's like a 12 or 6? Yeah. I think this, because you could have had a little more range, right? Even those purples, and they might be satins, which a lot of times with these high-end brands, they give you the dark colors are satins because then they'll blend, but then you're stuck with a shiny satin when you really wanted a matte. So I feel like that just strikes me as, because it would have made sense to have a little bit more to transition with on the purple, a little bit more to transition with on the neutral. And you could have had maybe they don't, for all these things too with these really high-end brands, you're not getting like a duochrome very often. And that's one thing I will say for like a Pat McGrath or a Natasha Jonas, they do give you multiple formulas. But for this, it's like, these are pretty standard shimmers. I'm sure they're beautiful, but they're pretty basic. So it's a pass for me, but I wouldn't like hate on it if somebody like gave it. I wouldn't be like, if someone gave it to me or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I treasure everything that anyone gives to me, and it goes straight into the vast pile, and then I take it out every so often and I swatch it and I go, you're mine, you're all mine, you never leave me. But yeah, slowly I'm going to introduce Sahil to the sheer chaos of this room, because he's not really allowed in for too long. Because the longer he's in, he's like, why do you have so many lipsticks? Are all of those eyeliner pencils? And I'm like, go away, get out. So yeah, he'll learn eventually. When I put it to you guys, then 36% of you love it. So it is what it is. Then Mira Beauty have come out with 2 palettes. So one is Melancholia, which is a 15-pan matte and shimmer, and it's $34 and then Abyss is a 4-pan all glitter quad for $12, and you can bundle the 2 together for $42. So basically you save what, $2 which
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so.
fast
Don't
math.
understand.
Well done, me. Is it just me, or when I'm looking at that 15-pan matte palette, well, it's not fully matte, but matte and shimmer palette, it reminds me a little bit of the House Labs Blue Ready palette.
Yes.
And I can't even remember what that was or what it was called. I repressed it because I love Lady Gaga as a human being and as an artist, but her brand annoys me. And I can't quite mesh the two. So I think for that reason, I look at this and it kind of annoys me because it brings that back. I don't know.
It's pretty. I think I liked it. I don't like glitter. I appreciate they put the glitter separate.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
But sometimes I'm like, just don't make. I feel like the number of people who will say they like a pressed glitter relative to like everyone else is so low. I'm not really sure about producing it. Like sometimes I'm like, wouldn't you have just, why are you doing this? But putting that aside, I think it's cute. I mean, I like the pop of coral. I do think sometimes when you get that, it like makes the palette, the visual interest of the palette, but then when you go to work it out, you find there's only like two versions of the looks. Like you're like, I can do like a blue-green look, or I can do maybe like a pastel-y look.
Yeah.
So sometimes that I just do find sometimes when you only have one color in a color store, in the other color story, you end up with the same look. You're always like putting it on as a pop of color in the inner eye or something like that. Also, can we just talk a little bit about this merman eating this woman's face?
Yeah.
On the cover? Like, just noticing that, a little weird.
I mean, that is an image that is going to stick with me for the rest of my life. You know, I'll be like 102 years old and on my deathbed, and I'll be like, remember that eyeshadow palette that had the creepy merman trying to take a soul from a human being?
Yeah.
And then everyone will be like, she's delirious. Time to pull the plug. Which, fair. That's my code word. I like the look of the glitter quads. I wouldn't go out and buy it because I've loads of glitter. I'd say they probably make those in limited quantities, but I agree, if you're looking at the 15-pan palette, you're limited in what you can do with it. And I think that's why,
like it.
Yeah, I think, you see, that's why I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't like it, because I like having a palette where I can be like, oh, there's so many possibilities, and all I can think of is that scene in Step Brothers where they like clear up the beds and they're like, there's so much room for activities. That's me with eyeshadow palettes. Like, the more kind of things I have, I'm like, oh, I get so excited. So this doesn't quite do it for me. Like, I don't think it's awful. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, it must be burned in a fire. No, that's fine. But I'm also like, I would swipe left on it on Tinder, but wish it nothing.
Yeah.
Wish it no ill will.
It's not holding a fish. Well, actually, I guess it sort of is holding a fish, but it's not, that way. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing right with it either.
It's not quite the level of a guy taking a picture with a sedated tiger, but yeah, Jesus, like, take a shot every time. I'm very glad I don't have to deal with that life anymore. When I put it to you guys, then 41% of you love it, so thank you for agreeing with me. Anyways, we are on to the sneak peek. So that's stuff that we don't have like a release date yet for. So the first thing is from Lovelux Beauty, and it's a purple, blue, green, pink thing. I need to immediately say, this is my sort of color story. This is what I very much am like, green, blue, purple, pink, peacock.
I think it's the powerful, this is the powerful too. I have the powerful one, and I actually really like it. Those shimmers are really beautiful. This would be a nice compliment. That one's a little bit more mixed up, but yeah, I liked it. I never really understood, they didn't seem to have consistent performance like other palettes. People would say they were bad, but I definitely have the powerful one, and I really enjoyed it. So
yeah, because I have some stuff from Lovelux, and there's like a few palettes that I'm like, this is very good, and then other ones that I'm like,
Yeah. But somehow it's not that it's the most revolutionary color story because we've actually seen this a bunch versus the first one, which was kind of early in the game on these like brighter colors. But there's just something very aesthetically pleasing. Like even the marble shades work. I just think I like it to see a brand like really execute the aesthetics.
Yeah, I like it. It's like even their packaging, it's simple, but it's effective. And I normally effing hate marble effects, but it actually works on this. Like it doesn't. And I am looking at that shade green called Control, and I do love it. Like I just love those shades of, look, I like all shades of green, but those ones in particular make me very, very happy. I like the look of that. I don't know when it's coming out, don't know how much it would be, but I think it's very, very nice. I think it's well thought out. Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a little pricey because I feel like the first one was like $50, $45, something like that. So maybe that's more of a wait for it, you know.
I have been listening to a
for
lot
your
of
birthday,
so I'm willing to wait for it, and that's why I got copyright struck because I sounded so much like the actor. JK. Yeah, I mean, I like it. When I put it to you guys, 56% of you loved it as well. So I do like it when you're all there with me. Then we have Pariah House Cosmetics, and this is the Forbidden Forest palette. It's apparently limited edition, and they're going to have like kind of artwork on it, and it is of course Harry Potter themed, and you can tell that from like the names of the shades, you know, Forbidden Forest, which obviously I'm looking at that one and feel some kind of way towards it, and Thestral is beautiful. The other two shades I'm not that bothered about, you know, Firenze or Unicorn Blood. I could take them or leave them, but the first two shades I'm like, I like those.
Yeah, I feel like those, I can't tell, is it like a multi-chrome? That's the thing, is maybe those other ones, sometimes if it's like a duochrome, the boring shades actually are really, really beautiful when you put them on. Well, but I've never heard of this brand. I know nothing about them. So
they have hashtagged indie multichromes and hashtag multichrome eyeshadow.
So yeah, so maybe it's going to be pricey, but yeah, that would make more sense because that color story doesn't seem as cohesive, but I bet like all of them shift green in certain light, something like that, or all shift purple in some light.
I mean, I like it. I think it's cute. I'm here for it. Like, I don't dislike it. Like if it was anything over like €30, I don't think I could justify it. But it's cute. It's very, very cute. Like I'm trying to be more sensible, and it is Harry Potter themed, but Harry Potter is somewhat tainted because of, you know, the bad woman ruining everything retrospectively. Gosh darn you, how dare you take my childhood from me. Very upsetting. Anyways, when I put it to you guys, then 49% of you loved it, so it was very much a half and half. And then the very last thing that we're going to talk about, literally, so it's like, you know, cutting edge, just hot off the presses. I got tagged in this a bit, and I'm including it. This is HipDot, you know, HipDot, who have their own very clear identity, and we all know what they're like and what they, no, we don't know who they are. They're like, if anyone watched Pokemon, they're like Ditto. They just assume the identity of the other Pokemon that they're nearby, and I have no idea what HipDot are like as a brand in and of themselves. But they've done the much wanted collaboration of Rugrats, because now is the magical time of Hanukkah. And they're like, yeah, the much beloved episode of the Hanukkah with the Rugrats. Now, I grew up watching Rugrats, and I don't really remember any of that. I do remember, though, being very confused about how a small child could hide a screwdriver in its nappy and not have its mother know. So many questions, and so little was answered. But it is just really quite odd. like Jewish symbolism in their promotional picture, and then there's like a bluey.
There's a lot of Santa stuff. I want to give them a little credit. It's nice to sprinkle it, you know, throw a little bit, some bones our way, you know. But
yeah.
I just don't really think of I mean, and I'm too old to have had Rugrats. That sort of post-dated me, but like, I just don't think of like I saw Hanukkah gnomes and Hanukkah shaped pasta and like Star of David shaped pasta at the store the other day, and I was like, you know, I just think that like part of Hanukkah is that it's you get your 8 kind of crummy gifts, like you get your socks, and it's okay. You don't need necessarily to have other people recognize or celebrate it. Like I personally just think that it's like it's good that people recognize not everyone celebrates Christmas, but I'm not sure I don't really feel honored by the spirit of this.
Yeah.
Okay, just saying. Yeah.
I do like.
I mean, it's cute, but it's a very generic palette. You know, the green, blue and gold. Everybody does that. But you know, we all have that already. But like, I don't think there's anything. I don't know their formula, but there doesn't seem to be anything offensive about like the color story itself. And at least it sort of hits the bid.
I just find it very odd to present it along with actual Jewish imagery. Like, you know, we have Christmas and we'll present it with, like, say, the Christmas tree or Santa, but it doesn't have.
We don't have a little baby Jesus in there. Yeah.
There's no like Virgin Mary being like, oh no, how did this happen? Oh, and then furiously trying to explain to Joseph that, you know, nothing happened. That conversation. Like,
and it's is there a dreidel? Does it come with a dreidel?
I hope so.
I mean, if it doesn't have a dreidel, they got the Hanukkah gelt, which is the coins. Not everyone knows those chocolate coins. It's Hanukkah gelt, not to be confused with Hanukkah guilt, which you will also get.
But that's a 365 day thing.
Yes. Don't need a special holiday for that one. So yeah, I don't know. Is it great? I mean, I just, you know, it's one of those where you're like, you know the emoji,
honestly,
this is what I have. This is like the
emoji. It's sheer confusion. Like, yeah, okay, great representation, but I'm just confused by it.
Yes.
Like, as a general, I will say I have been like historically confused by HipDot. I don't think there's been an episode where I brought up HipDot and not been like, what the F is happening? So they're consistent. Yeah. But confusing.
Because I only put the poll up a little bit before filming, I only have the results now. And you guys said that 9% of you love it. And I had a few people coming into my DMs saying that part of why they selected Love It was it was just nice to see some representation of other interpretations of the holiday season, which I'm inclined to agree with. It was just a really weird way to do it.
But yeah, that's essentially it. That's everything that has been rounded up for the week. You're so lucky we compile all of this together. But I do have the comment of the week, or my favorite comment, and this is from Karen Dorman. And this, it seems people were very confused because I was talking about Harry Styles' watermelon sugar and how that is actually like a euphemism for cunnilingus. And that was when I got struck, and this is no longer a monetized video. Anyways, people didn't know this, and I'm like, oh my god, I am forever the educator. And I had a lot of comments about this, but Karen's one was my favorite. Well, I didn't know about watermelon sugar, and now I'm regretting ordering the watermelon sugar mocktail last week. I further regret asking if anyone wanted to try it. I hope you said, do you want to try my watermelon? I hope it was said in that way and with that spirit. So we've all learned something. We can all, you know, take that. I will say though, like once I taught Sahil that he does just wander around the house just going, watermelon sugar, hi. And it's very off key, and it does hurt me on many levels. But that's it, lads. That's
and I would like to say that people should write more songs to the watermelon sugar, please, as many as you like.
And they don't have to be about mine. Just about ones in general, it should be lovely.
Ones in general.
There aren't enough songs about vaginas.
True. There are not very many.
Make it part of the legislation. There must be at least one vaginally based song per year.
Well, people sing about their all the time. I think we might want to have one. Maybe we should have. No, actually, like if you start to do it, then you know who does have one about it. Aquafina. She's got a song about it.
Yeah. Oh, and then the WAP.
Oh my God, the best.
There we go.
You made it.
Yes. Anyways, that's it. Do please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Go find people in general. Find Kasia, maybe. She has her own like little makeup page, and it's down in the description. Go have a little look. You know you want to. She's fabulous. Do please share, because sharing is caring, unless of course it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.